Fabric Inventory Hardware Membership. Okay, everyone, so if you remember on our previous video, we went through the initial configuration process on the ACI APIC. After we completed that initial setup, the APIC will load its web interface, and we should be able, if everything got configured correctly and you have access into the management network, we should be able to get to this screen. So welcome to the login page for a Cisco ACI APIC. So let's go ahead and log in. I'm going to go ahead and log in with the same credentials that I provided during that initial setup. And voila. So I am inside the ACI APIC. So let's start by taking a look at this. And you remember one of our videos where I told multiple times, in order for you to have a fully ported fabric by Cisco, the minimum amount of APICs that you need to have connected into the fabric must be 3. You cannot have less than 3 or else it's not ready for production. It will still work, however, it's not supported by Cisco. You need to have at least 3 in your fabric. So once we connect everything and we fire up APIC, we logged in, we're gonna go and commission all the devices that the ACI APIC is able to discover. And the reason why it's able to discover is because we dual connected that first APIC between leaf 1 and leaf 2. So remember, we connected one uplink to leaf 1, we connected the other uplink to leaf 2. The leaf 1 and leaf 2, they're connected to the spines. As we go in discovering each individual object or each individual device, we should be able to see all the devices across the board. Okay, so in order for you to do that, we're going to go into Fabric, Inventory, Pot 1, and then inside Pot 1, and then we click Fabric Membership. Okay, so what's going to happen is the first time we boot up the APIC and it starts detecting our switches, in this case our leaves, there's going to be a display in the Fabric Membership. It's going to show the first device that it has detected. So we need to commission this device and add it into the ACI, in this case into the APIC. So let's go ahead and click the first one, Node ID. So this will be our first leaf, and let's go ahead and type 101. So we want to have a leaf of 101 to be the first one. Rack name. If we have multiple racks that are we going to commission, meaning that your fabric might be segmented into different locations, that you have a different rack. Else, in this case, I just leave it as default. And finally, the no name. In this case, it's going to be leaf 101. And let me go ahead and put the node ID back. Okay. And then we click update. So now the first one has been commissioned. I should now get another discovery by the APIC. It's going to discover my next closest device, which probably it's going to be the adjacent spine. So once it detects the adjacent spine, it should then detect down the second leaf. So let's go ahead and do a refresh, or if not, let's just wait. LLDP is doing its thing. It's providing the information to the APIC, and the APIC should detect the next device. So let's give it a second. Okay, the ACI APIC just detected the adjacent spine via leaf 1. So one thing that I forgot to mention, you see here, you remember when we first commissioned the APIC, asked us for a subnet that is going to be used to offer IP addresses for your VTAP management. So in this case, it's self-allocated one IP in that segment for leaf 101. So let's go ahead and commission the spine. In this case, because leaves are going to start with 1, let's then select the spines to be 201 in this case. This is our first spine. Let's call this spine 201. And let's select the same rack. And you can also see what model is, which model it was detected, okay? So let's press update. And now, if we wait a couple of seconds, I should get an IP assigned for this particular device. Let me go ahead and click refresh. The state is still unknown, but let's give it a few seconds. There you go. Now, the spine has been assigned a management IP or a VTAP address from the pool, and we should see this become inactive, and sure enough, it detected the next leaf. So let's just wait until this becomes active while we can go ahead and commission that second leaf. We already commissioned 101. Let's go ahead and commission 102. And again, this will happen if everything is connected and wired the right way, like I explained on the previous video, okay? Leaf 102. Let's select the same rack and click update. And the spine is still inactive. Let's give it a few seconds. It should change into active. And then this leaf should get an IP. Now it has detected the SSL certificate. And sure enough, I got another IP assigned. In this case, leaf 102 has this IP assigned. Let me hit refresh and we should see everything becoming active. Okay, so spine 201 has become active. We're waiting for the second leaf, which any given moment it should become active as well. So let me go ahead and refresh. Not yet, but it already detected its SSL certificate. And by the way, all ACI leaves and spines, they need to have an installed SSL certificate that it comes by default from Cisco. And this certificate needs to be validated against the APIC, else you're not going to be able to provision or add leaves or spines onto your fabric. And this is done automatically. And boom, boom, we got our 3 devices active in the fabric. So we got our fabric build. It's a very small fabric, 2 leaves and 1 spine. Now let's see how that looks from a topology standpoint. So if you remember when we selected pod 1, that was our first pod number during our initial setup. There you go. And now, because everything is coming online, you should see the health score. And don't worry, we're going to discuss all this in our next video. So let me see the topology, and sure enough, there you go. So on fabric inventory, pod 1, if we click topology, we should see a physical representation of our spinal leaf fabric. Okay, so if we double click any device, we should see the populated chassis slot on the spine. In this case, I only have 1 line card and it's connected to 2 leaves. So ports 5.1, if you follow and trace this line here, 5.1 goes to leaf 101. If we want to know on the leaf 101 side where is that connected, we go onto the leaf topology, and sure enough, it's connected to this line card. In this case, it's the QSFP, the 40 gig line card, on port 101.149. Let's go back into pod 1. Topology, and the same thing you can do for leaf 2. So if I want to know where is the leaf 2 connected from a spine standpoint, I just double click the leaf, and sure enough, leaf 2 is connected the same way as leaf 1. So let's go ahead back into the dashboard and go back. Okay. And then finally, we have the APIC. So if you see here, the APIC is only connected to 1 leaf. From there, what happened was, and this is why I was suspecting why we did not detect both leaves first, and the reason why there's not a second uplink to leaf 102. So if you remember the discovery process, it detected leaf 101, we commissioned leaf 101, then it detected spine 201, we commissioned spine 201, and finally detected leaf 102. But in production, you want to double connect, you want to dual home the APIC to both leaves. Okay, so this is in a nutshell what a fabric would look like. Obviously, this is not a production fabric. This is just a lab topology. So if you want to know more about each individual device, you can click under fabric membership and you're going to see what the serial numbers are, what's the certificate information, and the IP information that I actually showed you once we performed discovery. Okay, and you can see here, before we had a very low score, now is getting up to 81. So it's going to take a little bit of time for this to go into the green state. And for you to be in a green state, I think you have to be more than 90%. So once you're more than 90%, this should turn green. Alrighty, so let's end this video now. In our next video, we're going to take a look at the graphical interface. Let's become familiar with all those tabs, all those settings, so you can understand a little bit more how to go through the ACI fabric, or in this case, the APIC, and perform your changes in the right section. So if you want to make a change onto the fabric itself, you go under fabric, and then we're talking about the access policies. We're going to go through all that, don't worry. But on our next video, let's just go and have a tour of the ACI APIC. Okay, everyone, in our next video, we're going to take a look at the ACI APIC web user interface. Thank you for watching.